but the Zoom interviews are a mess.
It was a dark area in the JBP when you guys all had
Zooms,
COVID.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shit happened. I mean,
right.
I had Mandy got COVID, and then I filled in for her. Nobody asked me to do that, but I filled in for her on the same mic that she had COVID on, right? Mm-hmm. My arrogance. And then I got COVID. I didn't realize how much shit would be affected if I got COVID. I didn't really play that out.
Really?
It wasn't wise. And then Rory got COVID. And it was a lot. It was a lot. We hated the Zoom stuff.
You guys are still doing the podcast together, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, because there's a lot of
today.
A lot of like YouTube clickbait titles try to get me to think that it's over again.
I've seen them.
But you're on break, which actually is a better explanation.
Well, we're on vacation. Now, that's why I'm out here.
This is the question I wanted to ask. Is, to me, the biggest value proposition of the JBP is the rapport. Is the fact that you guys know each other so well.
Trying to figure out the value, boy.
You know each other so well that the conversation just can become something that you're just not going to get from if you take, 3 very entertaining people and you put them on camera. You're just not going to get as deep as you might get from 3 people that know each other well. I think that's what you're trying to get to. I see you getting mad at co-hosts when they don't get deep enough, when they're not opening up enough.
Okay.
How much would have been lost?
I'm not going to say mad, but I see where you're going.
Right, but how much would have been lost if the situation did not resolve itself with Rory and Mal? Like, obviously, you and Ish and them, you have already a very strong connection, so there's already a whole bunch of rapport. That was kind of the shocking thing to me is I'm like, wow, he managed to like make a pretty damn good podcast on like a couple of days notice to an extent that I never would have thought. I didn't think the JBP was going to exist without, I couldn't imagine it existing without those two as the co-hosts. It turns out you have a whole bunch of good friends.
Yeah.
How much would be lost from your perspective though? If it had not worked out, how much do you lose by losing out on all those years of rapport building?
I do this to people too, man. I gotta be stoic. Adam. It's nothing against you. I just do this to people. I don't know the answers to the questions you're asking me. That's why I'm making these faces. How much would be lost? I'm not certain.
That's my biggest fear when it seems like things aren't working out with me and my guys that I do the weekly podcast with is I'm like, we've spent years getting more comfortable around each other. This just does not happen overnight. Feels like a lot to sort of give up on that,
Okay, but I mean, people lost their houses and belongings and everything they owned in Hurricane Katrina, right? People who have gone through things and lost their entire life's work. So when you speak about it in this form,
well, if we're going to analyze each other's like argumentative tactics here, you can't just say, well, worse things have happened in the world, so this doesn't seem that bad in comparison to those things.
See, stop right there. Why not?
Because you could do that about everything.
Then why can't you do it?
The Capitol getting raided was not that big a deal compared to the Holocaust. But nothing was that big a deal compared to the Holocaust. So we can't just bring up the Holocaust every time, right?
I can say something there, but you said the magical H word that I don't say anything.
But okay,
so I'm not
I hate when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody and they always got to bring it back to Hitler. Oh, what would you do if Hitler did that? It's like, okay, don't
even know.
You don't need to.
Don't. Who is it? I gotta Google it.
It's a guy who has the same first name as Young Dolph.